So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed a lot of energy. Lots of people in church today, folks who have been away for the summer or away even longer than that. Some new folks, young, old, in between. And you also missed the new team who were there to create energy as well. Of course, I'm back, nothing new about me. But Daniel Rubinoff playing the organ and guiding the choir 20 strong today. First time with the choir. Janine Profeta with the youth and the children. Not alone, she had great help from Joe and others. And our intern, Etienne Lesage. And I guess what you missed today was well, the first time that I've been in a group where I was the wallflower. I was the guy with the low energy. So much energy from these folks. It was remarkable. And we sang and we prayed. Etienne led the prayers of the people and talked about of a moment when we pray for someone we love as if we were giving them a surprise gift of a little extra of God's love. And it was such a wonderful sentiment. It was a beautiful moment. But we read Psalms and we read the Gospel and we heard how Jesus deals with conflict. We heard about confronting the problem head on, about bringing others to help mediate or to witness, to bring the problem before the church. And we heard what it sounded like was an order to remove them from the church if they don't understand. If they still don't get it, Jesus says, then treat them as you would a Gentile or a tax collector. And that certainly sounds dismissive until you remember that the way Jesus treated Gentiles and tax collectors was to eat with them, to invite them to join his company, to dance with them, to love them. We contrasted that with the psalm we heard, 149, which was full of joy, full of praise for God, even inviting us to sing praises from our couches, which always appeals to me. But then suddenly in the last third it switches. We sing praises to God and a two-edged sword in our hands. That we could punish the nations and put their leaders into fetters. And there was all manner of talk of judgment. And even when we love that talk of judgment, because there are people that we would put in fetters. There are people that we wish we didn't have to deal with. There are people who are just wrong. We're reminded that in that psalm, it is the nations who are meant to be dismissed, who are outside of God's love. And we recognize that as Gentiles, we were the nations the psalmist was speaking of. That psalm was directed at us. And having been the them to their us, we recognize that we are not outside of God's love. Even if the psalm suggested it's not true. And so perhaps we can take that same understanding when we talk about us and them and look over at them and roll our eyes and recognize that as much as we roll our eyes, as much as we may disdain those who hurt us, who hurt society, they are not outside of God's love. For Jesus, for God, there is no us and them. We are all a part of one magnificent creation. We are indeed brothers and sisters. We are all of us children of God, and nobody has the right to claim exclusive attention, exclusive privilege, exclusive relationship with God. And when we can learn to respect that, and it's hard, make no mistake, there are some of them out there that, well, the thought of approving, the thought of not stopping them seems abhorrent. But Jesus challenges us. God invites us not to approve, but to love. Not to take offenses and crime with no response, but to make sure that the response is always guided in love. To make sure we recognize that none of us are ever outside of God's love. So we heard that today, and we played some great improv games with Janine, and the youth and the children engaged with her, and it was just simply a great day. And I am confident it was the first of many as we begin a new season, a new chapter in the life of the community of Jubilee. Sure hope we get to see you soon. Thanks. God bless.